Hello and welcome. My name is Pepper, and in this video series I will be telling you all about my Age of Empires 2 custom maps. In this first video I will be talking about the ruler and tribes. In the second video I will be talking about border dispute, and in the last video I will be talking about the wildlings. Let's get into ruler and tribes. This custom map was created so that I could have a diplomatic game mode to enjoy with my friends. The way it works is that you have the purple player here, which is the ruler of the land. Then there are 5 smaller tribes, those being the blue player, the red player, the yellow player, the teal player, and lastly the green player. Let's talk about the level designing a bit. So this being the first map that I made when coming back to Age of Empires, first large scale map that is. I had some smaller ones before this one, but this is the first large scale one, and it kind of shows as most of the map looks kind of the same and a bit dull due to the fact that I have the exact same green grass texture and the exact same tree model used all around the map, as you can see. However, I still don't think this is a bad job. What this map is supposed to be is that it's a enclosed forested area, which I think I have done a good job with. Just showing you some of the map itself. Now let's talk about some of the triggers that I've made for this map. First one, we have the ruler's tags, which is dependent on this purple camp over here and this smaller purple camp down here. So what it does, we're gonna take this one as an example. We have 2 tents, this being these 2 big tents. As long as the purple player is in control of these 2 big tents, then the tags the tags trigger will be played. What the tags trigger does is, like I said, if the purple player is in control of these 2 big tents, then a timer will play every 60 seconds, and once this timer has gone down, in this case it is the red player will have to pay a tax of 25 food and 25 gold. And this is the same for all of the other players, except for the small camp down here, the purple player only needs to be in control of 1 big tent. I, however, added in a option for players to tag in and tag out of this feature, as they have to be at a allied stance with the purple player. So for example, if the red player decides that they no longer want to pay the tax to the purple player, they can simply declare themselves at war or declare themselves neutral to the purple player, and therefore this trigger will no longer be playing. Then we have the second trigger, trade card spawn, which later built into another trigger that I have made, but let's get into this one. What this trigger does is, let's again take the red player here as an example. As long as the red player has a market built, then this trigger will be playing. So every 60 seconds, and as long as they have less than 4 trade cards, a trade card will be created in this yellow area right here. And this trigger makes it so that when the trade card spawn, the trade card itself will move over to this area. This will change depending on the player, the spawning location, and where the trade card itself will move after spawning, of course. Let's repeat that again in case you missed it. So firstly, the red player in this case will have to have at least 1 market. If they do not have 1 market, then this trigger will not play. If they do have 1 market, however, the trigger will repeat itself every 60 seconds and spawn 1 trade card if they do not already have 4 trade cards. This is the same for all players. This here is to make sure that players can interact with the wildlings faction that I have, the orange player. This is a exclusively AI controlled faction within the game mode. What these triggers does, however, is 2 things. Firstly, we have this one here, which is the ruler to player 8, and this allows the ruler to ally himself with the wildlings faction. They can do this by sending a villager on top of this flag, which what this trigger does is the villager walks on top of the flag, then you sacrifice the villager to the wildlings faction, which leads to the wildling faction, and in this case the purple player becoming allies with each other. This then allows the purple player right here to send another villager on top of this flag, which will result in the villager being sacrificed yet again, but in this case it will create an additional relic. So let's say the purple player firstly goes over here and allies themselves with the wildling faction. Then they claim the relic for themselves, and they want another relic that they can send over another villager over to the flag, and a new relic will spawn. This is the same for all of the wildling camps that exist on the map, which there are 3 of. And this also is the same for all players. Let's move on to the next triggers, which is the trading system I have, the custom trading system that I have made. What this trading system does is, firstly, as I mentioned before, each player will have trading cards, a maximum of 4. What they can use these trading cards for is, let's take, well, this one is the ruler to player, the red player, for example. So firstly, the ruler will have to send his trading card on top of this flag. Once the trading card has arrived on top of the flag, the trading card will die, but both the red player and the purple player will gain tributes. Each player has their own flag that the trading card will have to go on top of. The red player has his here, as I showed before. The blue player has his here. The ruler has his flag over here. The yellow player's flag is in this location. The teal player is over there, and lastly the green player has his over here. All of this has the same function of being able to send a trade card on top of the flag, the trade card dying, and both players gaining resources. This is for the player to ruler trading, this is the ruler to player trading, and lastly the player to player trading. Then we have the pagan shrine transfer, which is a required trigger for this next one to work. But let's talk about the player shrine trigger. What this does is, let's say someone wants to capture this pagan shrine, which is required for the border invasion units, but they want to capture the pagan shrine. Firstly, they would have to get the shrine itself down to a HP of 1050. The shrine itself has to be visible to whoever is trying to capture it, and lastly, the capturing player has to be at a hostile state with the red player themselves. If all of these requirements are met, then the shrine will become the shrine will change ownership to whoever is trying to capture it. Then we go into border invasion units. This will spawn units at the border here if requirements are met. Again, which the requirement in this situation is, firstly, they will have to destroy these 2 wooden gates. They will have to have a ownership of this pagan shrine, and if these, then they also have to be at war with all of the other players. And if these requirements are met, then elite Capuchins will start spawning over in this location. This is a sort of endgame event that I've added in for players to opt into, as this will make them immensely powerful, as it will give them 6 elite Capuchins every 30 seconds. But again, they will have to firstly destroy the 2 gates, claim ownership over the shrine itself, and be at war with everyone in order for this trigger to work. And what this here is here to stop players from having more than 44 Capuchins at a time. It's to balance it out a bit. Then we move over to the next trigger that I have made, which is the bandit raid system. What this bandit raid does is that, firstly, it checks if a player has a total of 500 food. In this scenario, this trigger is for player 3, which is the green player. So if the green player has 500 food or more, the bandits will start sending raids over to attack him. This is the same for all of the other players, which it might change depending on who it is. This here, no, it's, or actually, yes. This here, player 4, is the yellow player, which is the kind of farming civilization, or farming tribe, sorry, which is the farming tribe, so they would naturally have more food than the green player would have. But either way, the bandit camp checks how much resources the player has, and then it sends a raid to raid them. And this can be upgraded 3 times. So the first raid looks for 500 food. The second raid looks for 1,500 food, and the last raid looks for 2,500 food. I added in this system to give players something to do other than kill each other, and of course as a way to slightly slow down the progress of better players. And this is the same for all players. Then we have bandit patrols. This is a system I added that will make it so units will spawn from these bandit camps and patrol the nearby roads they have. This is to ensure that players can't just send out their trading cards for free, as the trading card itself might end up dying to these bandit patrols. And there are just up to 6 units from each bandit camp, which there are 3 of them. There is one over here, there is one over here, and lastly, there is one over here. But let's say the players are getting tired of being attacked by these bandits. Then they have the option to claim the bandit camp for themselves, which they can do by killing all of the units inside here. They need to have this building be visible to them, and they need to, or actually they do not need to kill off the units. I remember I changed that because sometimes the unit would run away. So the new requirement is just to bring this building down to 250 health, and for the building itself to be visible to whoever is trying to claim it. Then all of the structures will change to their ownership. What this does in turn is it will allow the the bandit units to spawn, but now in whoever claimed ownership of the camp itself. Sorry. What this does is that it spawns bandit units, but they are now in the control of whoever claimed ownership of the bandit camp itself. So let's say that the red player has decided to claim this bandit camp. The bandits will now spawn in the red colors. Then I have made it so each player has their own kind of unique way of aging up to Castle Age. The purple player will always be in Castle Age, so he does not need to do something special to age up, but all the other players, however, does need to do something special. Let's take the red player, for example. The red player will have to accumulate up to 3,000 gold. They need to be at an allied stance with the ruler of the land. Then they will have to send a trade cart over into this flag, after which the trade cart will die. They will pay the 3,000 gold and they will unlock Castle Age. This is mostly the same for the other players, except the resources might change. As you can see over here for player 4 example, the yellow player, he instead needs to pay 300 food. And then there is then there is the blue player up here who has to send a villager over to this flag over here to unlock Castle Age. So that is how each of the players unlock Castle Age. Then I have a castle limit and a tower limit. This is to stop players from turtling up and needlessly extending the game. Sorry. This is to needlessly. I'm sorry again. This feature was implemented to stop players from turtling up and needlessly extending the gameplay time. How I did this is by just checking if a player owns a certain amount of castles. If they have one castle, the build options for castle will be disabled, and if they have no castles, it will be enabled again. Same goes for all of the other players, and the same goes for the tower limit. If a player, or this in this example, if the purple player has more than 5 towers, it will be disabled. However, if they have less than 5 towers, if they have more than 5 towers, it will be disabled. If they have less than 5 towers, it will be re-enabled, and this is the same for all of the other players. Then here we have the healing transfer trigger, which is to make sure that these special objects that can be transferred between players cannot die. So if any of these structures, for example, go below 250 health, then all of them will get healed. This is the same for all of the other camps and also the pagan shrine itself. So if the pagan shrine goes below 1050 health, it will heal itself back to full health to make sure that these structures can't die and that players can capture them from each other. Then lastly, we have the win conditions, which the ruler himself cannot win this game mode. He can only survive for as long as he wants, or simply just eliminate all of the other players. But for all of the other players, what their win condition is to first destroy this castle. Then they need to build their own castle on top of this area. Once that is done, they will be the new ruler of the land, and they are victorious. And that is all of the triggers for this map. Thanks for watching.